remove this. Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
I am alive, and that is, you know, not a bad thing.
The, j- yeah, I was about to say I'd much rather have you that way. I really would. All right, let's dive into it. Welcome to Our Side of the Table, the podcast where we celebrate all things nerdy for independent comics to anime and everything in between. I'm Jay Guevara. The lady on the screen is Robot Ocelot, and Vagabundo isn't here today, so sorry guys. And each episode, we dive deep in the world of creators, artists, and fans who bring these stories to life. Whether you're a diehard comic book lover or just discovering your inner geek, this is the place for you. So power up and tune in, and let's get into our side of the table. Robot, how you doing?
I am doing, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm doing.
you just you just doing.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
been tired lately, but who isn't? Uh,
I'm about to say
uh
this is what it's like being in your 30s and 40s.
can't relate.
Eh, you can't relate.
No, I've been around for centuries.
You've been around for centuries. That's funny. All right, everybody. So today we have Marcus Williams, who's going to be running a little bit late, but he's going to be here, and we're just going to talk about all the stuff that's been happening, man. Like we've been so busy. Good news: Covey Entertainment Universe, us as a brand, got invited to the Thunderbolts premiere, which was on April 30th, not May 2nd. So we were there before everybody.
Okay,
Um,
great.
big shout out to Big Tigger for having us, and because he was the host, but like Marvel Studios is who invited us, so that was like really big for us as a brand. Like oh snap, you know what I mean. Um, Outside of that, please follow us on Instagram. Uh, then it says the name suggests our side of the table. We've been like I said, man, we just been working. Um, Uh, what else can I tell you? Free Comic Book Day was yesterday. That was a awesome day. And guess what book they brought back on Boom? They brought back old school VR Troopers, yo. This is like the coolest art I've ever seen. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all don't know what y'all doing here.
Art on that cover
Y'all
looks
don't.
amazing.
It does, doesn't it? I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, what? And like yeah, I just been working. Robot's been working, Vag's been working. Like right now, he out there pounding the concrete. I sent him the link just in case he wanted to show up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's just the reality of everything. You have to stay consistent. You just can't start a podcast, say we got a podcast, and there isn't more stuff to talk about. We got to keep going. So here's my question: what are you watching right now, Robot?
Lately, well, if we're talking about anime, I rewatch a lot of stuff because I basically was out sick for a week. I wasn't feeling all too great, so I basically just stayed in bed and rewatched some stuff. So let's see, I rewatched Kamikatsu. Let's see, A God in a Godless World. I think that's what it's called in like English. Uh, Interspecies Reviewers. Um, what other anime did I watch? I was mostly watching garbage. That's mostly what it is. It's mostly garbage. But
She said I was mostly watching garbage. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. Wait a
have
minute.
you
I
been
gotta
watching any
go.
new anime lately, or is it just like
n-
more comic
Not
book
anime.
stuff?
It's been more comic book stuff. Like I finally got the chance to sit down and watch Loki, and it's actually not bad.
Oh, the series, yeah, that's something
Uh,
I've been meaning to watch. That and WandaVision.
I finally finished WandaVision.
Oh,
WandaVision wasn't bad.
I keep getting
And
like split
say that again.
feedback. I keep getting split feedback about it. Some people think it's annoying, some people loved it, so I've just been kind
I
of
did.
lazy to get to
I
it.
thought I thought it was great. Like I thought it was really, 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 really good. Um, the thing is, I'm realizing that each and every Avenger either had their own spin-off movie or their own TV show.
Yeah, there's a lot to keep track of if you really want to track the lore. You gotta keep up with a lot of different stuff they've been putting out. Which,
Uh
I mean, if you're a big fan and you love eating up all that stuff, that is okay. It takes a bit of energy for me to like dig up what I need to look for. Like my mom got really bummed out when Luke Cage dropped out of one of the series. What was it called? Like
Luke Cage off of Netflix.
yeah, he showed up in a different series for like an entire season and then dropped out and showed up in his show, which is fine. But my mom was just like, "Where did he go?" I'm just like, "You have to go watch Luke Cage now to find out where he went."
He
Or
was in
find
he was in
Jessica.
no, he was in
Jessica
Jessica
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
series she was watching, and like he disappeared.
yeah.
She's like, "Where'd he go?"
If I'm being real, I
Mm.
had to force myself to watch Jessica Jones.
Oh, okay.
Just to, I didn't really care for it. I mean, it was okay. I watched it for Marvel's sake. You see what I'm saying? Because I know
Mm.
it tied into
Oh, their show goes
Daredevil
on.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. So I'm sitting there like, okay, I'll watch it, and I had to force myself. Kilgrave ain't really that much of a tough guy to me. Like,
He's more of like, I guess, a psychological horror. I mean, I like the first season fine. My mom watched the rest of it and like, but she's more of a she likes a noir detective kind of vibe to different shows. So that's probably what
I,
appealed to her a lot.
I get it, but
I'm not
the,
so
the
much.
the only thing that stopped me and what had me like flabbergasted, because each and every one of the shows had something that
Yeah,
made you keep watching,
connected
right?
to something else. Yeah.
I mean, she was doing like sex scenes with Luke Cage, and I'm sitting there like, yo, this is Disney porn. What the hell are they doing? I'm sorry, they're breaking the bed, and not just in a fun
That's
way. I'm
right.
talking they're
They were both super powered. I completely forgot about that. Actually, I was just like, "That's right." They did like break walls and furniture and junk because they're just like,
I'm
"We have
sitting there.
superpowers. I don't need to hold back." And I was just like, "Oh, yeah."
I'm about to say, y'all are wilding. Like y'all are breaking stuff. This is. Ooh, no,
I
y'all
mean, like,
ain't.
I guess it's they did something before the boys did it, but uh,
Still, but the reason Luke Cage was good to me, it was the first Marvel Disney show that they used the N word in it, all up and down
oh,
the show.
okay.
And they started it off in the very first episode to the point you're sitting there like, wait a minute, what did he just say? He said it again. Oh, this is where we at. This is where we at. And it was dope. It was super dope. What I'm waiting for is the next Hulk movie,
Oh,
and
they're making
I'm
another Hulk movie.
yeah, they're making a Hulk movie, and I'm hoping. The thing is, if you're a Hulk fan, the best Hulk, and this is just hands down to me, was Edward Norton in the 2008 version of the Hulk, because that was one of the pieces that started the universe, because they had Tony Stark as at the end credits. You see what I'm saying? Tony Stark and Ross at the end credits. So it was like the dopest one. And and then you switch it to Mark Ruffalo. Now, not saying that Mark Ruffalo was a bad actor. I like him, and he matches the brand very well. It's just that he. It's like, bro, like, come on, you are you gonna fight anybody?
He's too OP, I guess. I don't know. I'm just maybe that's their reasoning. I don't have very strong feelings about Hulk. Mostly because I remember watching the first one only because was I fell asleep during it. Um, I've watched it in
Was that with
pieces. Huh?
was that with me? Was that with me in St. Thomas?
No, no, it was like in summer camp or something.
Hold on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
She said, I mean, you can still talk to me because the thing is still recording. But, ooh, ooh, wee. The pizza's ready.
Um, Summer camp is when like I was a counselor and like watching it with kids I was watching.
Okay. Well, with me, I was, when I watched it, I liked it because of the writing. It was, Edward Norton is a brilliant writer, producer, actor, brilliant.
I probably need to
So,
rewatch it. Sometimes you just need to be in a different mindset in order to pick up certain things. Like
oh yeah,
there's some movies
I
that I
reckon.
like go back to watch. I'm just like I didn't even notice that. What the heck? With all
All right,
this like knowledge about film and movies and stuff after the fact.
I feel you. I feel you. Like in my mind, it's one of the best things that you can do to if you're really a Marvel fan. Like I met the lady yesterday, um, who started Dragon Con here in Atlanta,
Oh
right?
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Came in and she's like, I was doing Dragon Con when it was only 5 people showing up. Now look at it. And I'm like, yo. And then I looked at her shirt. I said, oh, so you're a Marvel fan? She's like, what kind of question is that? Of course I'm a Marvel fan. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, listen, we ain't gotta be hating on DC this hard. Like, we ain't gotta do all of that. We ain't gotta do that. I'm talking little old lady, robot,
Yeah.
gangster as hell. Little
There's
old
been
lady,
like
gangster as hell.
you'd be surprised that like there's a lot of big fans who are just like older women because they write the fanfics and stuff like that. That kind of, I mean, I mean, it's not something that's talked about a lot, but it's a
Uh,
big chunk of some people's online life and how they get popular in different circles and junk. Some people end up for
yeah,
writing for other like companies eventually and just like pop off from there. It's crazy.
right, right. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Um, what am I looking for? What I want to know is if because this is how much I've been out of touch and out of tune. The last season of My Hero Academia came out yet? I
Which
should have asked
season
that
is
question
that?
before I got online.
Yeah, which season is that? I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping track of it as much. I
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I'm
figure out
writing it.
the last
I'm
season.
I'm go- I'm googling it now in real time. Everybody has the last season of My Hero Academia have been released. No, the last season of My Hero Academia season 8 has not been released. Scheduled to premiere October 2025. Okay, that means I got
Oh,
something to look
okay.
forward to.
It's gonna be
That means
released
I
this
got something to.
fall. Okay.
What are you doing? What are you looking at down there?
I am drawing. I'm sorry
Oh,
if this is
dope.
distracting.
No, it's not. I just want to know if you can share it to the screen.
It's just my D&D character for next weekend. It's a null.
Oh, yo, you've got your lines have gotten so much cleaner. That's really, really dope. That's
I
really dope. Oh man, look at that.
I'm a
That's one of the things that I've always remembered. Like you'd always be really good at drawing, and you'd have your sketchbook wherever you go. I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
That's a nostalgic moment for me. Big brother moment.
Throw it back.
Right, right, right. Oh, and one more thing. I got you a Thunderbolts bag.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yes, please.
So they gave us a whole bunch of Thunderbolts merchandise,
Oh, okay, that's actually really neat looking.
right? And it's even though it's like a purse like this, it actually operates as a backpack back here.
Okay, I see. Yeah, with the
Yeah,
straps.
right, right, right. And I got you a Thunderbolts T-shirt that matches the bag.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I got you, man. I got you, man. We a team. We in this bitch. And a pin. Look at that. I
Oh,
got you a
nice.
pin.
Once I get all that stuff, you can see me taking pictures of me and them.
Hey, do that. Do that. We gotta. I'm trying to make sure everything works the way it's supposed to. And you're up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I just gotta find the.
Okay.
I just gotta find the comic book shops that's in your area until you decide to move to Atlanta. Because I'm not leaving Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm not leaving Atlanta. Too many opportunities. Like, are you kidding me? Too many opportunities. We've been pounding this concrete. I've been pounding this concrete so goddamn hard, and I've been making it work, man. Got a new voice acting coach now.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that at some point. Gonna be able to visit some cool classes or sit in on a class or two to see some cool stuff, just to see like how things are.
Right? You okay? You look like you're falling asleep.
No, I'm fine. I'm just sort of
Okay.
I'm trying not to draw too much to be distracted and stuff because I don't want to like be too distracting and like look away from the camera too much. My bad.
Nah, it's fine. No, it's cool. The thing is, the fans gonna brother it in the comments when we release this tape. Like, yo, what is she doing down there? I mean,
My
but
best.
you saw the trivia game that I hosted.
Yeah, I was looking at it.
It could have been better. It could have been worse, but it was dope. All right.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
maybe hoping you can throw in more difficult questions. Not that all of them were like super duper easy, but at the same time, I'm just like, mm.
because here's the thing. I set it up thinking that one, not a lot of people would be there.
uh,
Two, I was thinking that it was going to be all kids, right? And three, I was going to keep it in the movie section because if I go to the comic book side of it, right, you wouldn't be able to answer all those questions.
fair.
You see what I'm saying? I kept it completely cinema, non-comics, because not everybody reads comics.
Yeah,
More people go to the movies than
yeah.
they actually read the comics. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yes, sir. Oh, and I have a half hour short that I wrote that I'd like to send to you and get your opinion on it. And
Okay.
because it's like the superhero thing.
Is it
And
like
because I realized that, say that again.
is it like a script or is it just like kind
Just
of
the scenes,
freeform?
not the exact. Not,
Uh,
it's the scenes, not the exact script yet. I just wanted to see how you felt about it,
all right.
and you read it when you get a chance. I know you've been on mobile lately, so I said, okay, let me get this to you, and let's see if we can have you look it over. Um, Another question. So there's been some AIs that are now available, right?
Yeah.
Would you make an AI that resembles somebody that you missed?
No, I would not. That doesn't seem.
Why?
I don't know. Like people that I miss, I love them because of like their experiences that they've went through and the stories and they've told and the things I can learn from them. We can learn from each other. If somebody is
Right.
just telling me stuff I already know about a person from a person, that only goes so far for me. At a certain point, like you're gonna miss like the way somebody tells jokes, or just some of the things that they talked about, or maybe they'll surprise you with new stories that you never even like heard of from like other crap they went through in life. So I mean, if you're if you're fine with just like reliving past stuff and like having conversations on stuff in the past, that's cool. But I don't know. I just like things to roll forward. Like
Okay.
I have a friend I miss a lot, and I don't think an AI could replicate how they feel about watching Ranma One Half being rebooted.
Hmm. I feel you. I feel you 100%. I feel you 100%. That's a different that's a different thing. That's a different thing. It's just like you miss somebody, and you're right. AI would never be able to replicate that person. So yeah, I get it. I get it 100%.
I mean, people interact with certain people differently, so I can't say I judge people when they do that sort of thing. But as I said, my connection to people is like just how they see the world, I guess. I love seeing other people's perspective, even if it's like to me kind of fucked up. Sometimes you can just like see a person and see what they went through um
Hmm.
and shit they've dealt with to even like get to that point in particular. So yeah.
No, I feel you. That is an absolutely perfect response. Absolutely perfect. I was sitting there like, yeah, she's right about that.
Because
She's
I know
completely
like
right
all
about that.
types of people. I've met all kinds of people from like people who were like rich to people who like I used to like busk on the street a little bit for selling water and shit in St. Thomas, and just like get to know all kinds of people from different light walks of life and shit that they go
Right.
through. So world's a
I
wild place when
remember,
you're on the computer. But go ahead.
and no, I feel you. Like the thing is, some of the AIs that I've seen so far,
Hmm.
incredibly accurate. Some of them are incredibly accurate. Some of them still need work. Um, like I use one to help generate characters instead of like okay. So when you're doing movies, you have different pictures of the movies just to see what it would look like, right?
Hmm.
Different, and we're not talking like in an animation form. We're talking like just a different picture for
Posters
different moments. Yeah,
or
right.
screenshots. Which one are you talking
S-
about?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean all of those are correct. You can say
Okay.
all of those. So when I realized that AI can generate pictures, I started generating pictures that um for
Hmm.
characters for the comic book,
Character
right?
concepts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said to like, okay, so this might not be totally be a bad thing because I like to draw, you like to draw, right? But if you're making a whole bunch of characters, sometimes that can be a little bit tedious. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be a little bit tedious. So I sat there and I played with what? I played with the AI last night, and oh, somebody's here. Ladies and gentlemen, the infamous Marcus Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, he forgot his hat. This is Marcus Williams,
Don't forget,
the man, the
I
legend.
have a choice to wear a
Atlas.
hat. I have a choice. It's my option. Damn, I forgot my water. I'm like, I always forget water when I do interviews. I'm gonna go grab my
I'm about
water
to
at some
say it.
point. Yeah. How y'all
No,
doing?
I mean, if you, we good,
Hmm.
man. So, Robot, this is my mentor, Marcus Williams, the greatest animator in all of Atlanta,
I don't animate.
right?
It's a lie.
He's the
It's a
writer.
smear.
He's
It's a
the
smear campaign. He's not in it. I don't animate. I'm a character artist and writer and things of that nature. Don't let him lie to you. Don't let him lie to you. Don't do that.
All right, I won't let him lie to me.
Yeah, don't do that.
uh,
Let them lie.
Marcus, Marcus, this is one of my best friends from the Caribbean. This is Robot, but we actually this is like a Virgin Islands based theme show,
Okay.
right? And I mean, you know me, you've seen me around. There's no shortage of people that I don't know. So I sit there like, what if I could get Marcus on the show?
I'm not.
There he is.
I've never been to the Virgin Islands or any of those wonderful collection of islands. So I feel like if y'all want to just, raise money and funds for us to all go there, and then we can do the podcast there. I think that's a
Really,
good idea. Let's go with that.
I, yeah, we should go with that. We do
That
a
would
whole
be cool.
podcast on the beach, Robot.
I feel like that's. I mean, we could be in a hotel, but I'm saying, that after we're finished, we'll just go to the beach and chill.
That is also very nice.
See how the ideas flow once you put it out there. I can figure out how to get there. Yes. My bad. I had to straighten up, and I'm ripping and running.
Hey,
Good
nah,
evening.
boss. Like you already communicated. You already let me know. We was sitting there chopping up and talking about we was contemplating all of creation right now. The question was,
Good.
uh,
That's good. That's what I'm
we
supposed to do.
we were the question was, would you make an AI after somebody that you missed?
Oh, there's a movie about
Yeah.
that. There's a couple movies about that.
Right.
On Netflix. I want to say it's maybe
You're
Korean.
thinking about Black Mirror? There was an episode,
No.
maybe?
Well,
No?
there probably is, but I'm just saying there's a full-on movie on Netflix, and it's either Korean or I don't think it's Japanese but yeah, it literally it's based on that premise, and the girls it's a kid's mother that dies, and the little boy is being raised by his grandmother, and every
Hmm.
time the mom calls, you know, the girl is like excited, but the grandma's kind of wary about it. And she's like, your mom called, and when she's little, she was cool. And then it shows her grow up. And then the girl's like, I don't want to talk to her, and no, you don't know why as the viewer until you actually get into the meat of the story. The mom's been dead for like 10 plus years, but it's a perfect AI. And the mom is like, she was a photographer when she was alive. And so she's in Egypt and she's taking pictures like, hey, baby, I'm in Egypt. And the kid is like looking at the screen all like, and it's like, wait, why this kid looking all crunchy at her mom? Turns out her mom has been dead, and she realizes now that it's AI, and the company
Right.
is, dealing with lawsuits and all this, but it's actually real too, because the Japanese company actually is offering it right now. So, yeah, I would watch Black Mirror. I'm sorry, not Black Mirror. One of my favorite sci-fi movies that just came out recently is a Swan Song.
Okay.
Have y'all seen that?
Mm.
Have y'all seen that one?
Not
Not
yet. Nah,
yet,
I
no.
will tonight.
Okay.
I
That
will
was on
tonight.
it was on Apple TV and nobody was talking about it. And for whatever reason, I was pissed off that I was paying for Apple TV. I'm like, what the hell is on Apple TV? Why am I paying?
What is on Apple
Yeah,
TV?
and I go down and I see Mahershala Ali
Hmm.
Oh.
in the little avatar. I'm like, what the hell is this? Hold on, there's black people. And I start watching it, dog. I honestly, that's probably one of my favorite new sci-fi movies in the past 5 plus years. And it just was like I was mad because no one was talking about it. So I actually did some fan art for it, and I wrote a whole little post. And I was like, y'all need to watch this movie. This is dope. But it's similar premise without the spoilers. It's like a gentleman he has a disease. It's getting worse. He has an option to make. He's either going to die and leave his wife is newly pregnant. He already has a kid, but she's newly pregnant, and he has a degenerative disease. But he has this company that's like, hey, we can help you. Your wife doesn't have to be alone, and your kids don't have to be bastards. But you got to sign this document saying you agree with the terms. Turns out they're completely perfectly cloning people and fixing all of the problems in that new clone. So it's downloading all the memories into this clone body with none of the problems, but he has to meet and talk to his clone first before they can release the clone back to the family. It's dope. Fantastic movie. Y'all ain't seen it. It's fantastic. I ain't gonna spoil it. but it's really dope.
I'm about to go look at it now. I'm sitting there
Yeah,
like, wait a minute, who do I know that got? I mean, I got enough stuff on me. I got Hulu, I got Disney Plus, I got Netflix, I got Crunchyroll. Like, damn, this is just another
I
app I
was
gotta go
listen,
get now.
that's why I was pissed off. I was like, why the hell am I paying for Apple? I think I only watched a few series on Apple, but yeah, that one was fantastic. I was mad. I was like, why y'all ain't talking about that one? It was dope, and I want a part two.
Oh,
If
you
they
want
had
a part
one.
two?
I want a part two of the movie because I got it all up here. You know how I be doing. I'm like,
Yeah,
tell you the
yeah,
story. I know what they need to go on, but yeah, I just
yeah.
took the kids to go see the new Thunderbolts joint. You know,
Okay,
so you know,
okay. So I already prepared a robot for this. Like I let her know that me and you were there,
yeah.
and she's like, "Okay, like spoilers don't bother me. Go ahead." I'm like, "Okay,
As
just
long
say
as
it. Like
you
if
give
it
them like
comes,
you give the crowd like as a heads up about spoilers because apparently comments don't like it when you don't give
Yeah,
spoiler
you have to
warning
give
or
spoiler
right?
whatever.
Okay,
warning fairly ahead
okay,
of time.
okay." So here's a spoiler alert to everybody that has not seen the Thunderbolts. We are going to be talking about the Thunderbolts movie. So spoiler alert. If you don't want to do it, you can log off right now. Watch something else.
Wait, see,
All right.
I don't want your followers to drop off that quick. So but yes, there's other things that we gotta get through.
I was about to
But
say.
it's I guess to answer your question, would I give an AI for? I guess you're talking about like family members, or would I leave
Somebody that you
behind an
miss,
AI
like somebody that you miss. Say
family member,
an
loved
ex-
person?
a family member, an ex girlfriend, somebody that you wish you could talk to, maybe an OG that you miss that would give you
Mhm.
some great advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. See, but you gotta understand, I'm a comic head, and so Superman been doing that with his daddy for years. He seemed okay. He
Thank
seemed
you,
okay. He
thank
all
you.
right. He look, he be learning mad stuff from his dad. His dad been dead for like 20, 30 years. And
Yeah,
still teaching them new stuff. Like, son, let me tell you about, the Decibel system over there. And,
right,
dropping mad knowledge. So if it's a perfect AI and it also is the internet, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, I would absolutely, Martin Luther King AI come around. I'm be like, yo, Martin, let me ask you something. Man, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. Trump is president right now, Martin Luther King. Um, Let me ask you, what would you do, Brad? If you, I think it would be entertaining, but in
Right,
respectfully, like for the family, it would have to be something that is approved. If it's a famous person, obviously, and the family is in charge of the estate, it would have to be approved. But if it's somebody I know and they're
yeah,
like it's a company that comes to me and say, hey, so and so died in your family recently or something. Would you like to, get, or they're about to die, something like that? And hey, we can copy their consciousness perfectly. I would ask the person if they cool with it, and I really like that person. Dude, I'm a sci-fi fan, so
right,
I would do it if everybody that was okay with it. It wouldn't be creepy to me.
right,
I guess is what I'm saying.
right,
Because
right, right, right.
you remember Castaway with
Right. He talking to a volleyball.
with the
That was
volleyball
creepy.
dog. Only thing I got from that movie is I would draw the hell. I would paint the hell out of that dodgeball. It would be a perfect portrait of
Right.
somebody attractive. You know,
That's
but when you know what I'm
that's
saying?
because he
Because I
can
can draw.
draw.
Because I can
That's
draw.
because
You know
he
what I'm
can
saying?
draw.
And I would literally have full on conversations, arguments. You know what I'm saying? But that's
Nah.
because my creativity allows for that. So most people that, oh, that's
Right.
creepy. I'm like, I can't. They got a new AI right now. It's not out officially as a product, but it's called Sesame.com. Have y'all heard or
Hmm.
seen of that?
Not
No,
that one.
I just got on. I just got onto Opus AI just
Okay.
now,
How many
not too
Okay.
of
long ago, and it's pretty good.
Check before y'all like write it down, like Sesame Street, but Sesame.com. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
a natural language speaking, conversational model, and it
mhm.
is. Have y'all seen? Y'all gotta watch these movies. So her, have you seen her with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. Yeah, I've seen that one.
I keep
You seen
meaning
it?
to see it. I haven't seen it. I
Okay,
know I need to see it.
check it. Listen, we're at the point. As soon as Sesame goes live, and then you watch that movie Her, right? You'll see why we're right there where that movie was supposed to be, near future, and it's just about an operating system, a computer operating system that has natural language, conversational, speaking capabilities. Um, with Scarlett Johansson as the voice of the computer voice, whatever. That's where we are.
Hmm.
Sesame.com is about to release that kind of language model. It is flawless. Almost well, I would say it's like 95%. You can
95 is good. That's a good
I,
number.
I literally had it create a story with me live. I'm like, I'm
Uh,
writing a story and I want you to fill in the blanks. So we're gonna tell it together. And it was like, okay, cool. You got to hear it though. So when you start
uh,
talking to it, it's natural as hell. It's the best to me. It's the best one on the market. But when that comes out, I'm gonna have that in my ear all the time. I'm gonna be like chatting it up, laughing. I talked for like an hour
uh,
to it, so it's actually pretty dope. So no,
all right. So
I
how
wouldn't have
about
a
this?
problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
All right. So now Skynet
You
exists.
know, listen, because after that comes perfecting of the robot body. You know,
uh,
Tesla is in the game,
uh,
China's in the game. Whoever gets
uh,
to getting a prefer, Boston Dynamics got a new one. So whoever gets
mm,
the perfection of the human body, robot, they're gonna pair the perfect AI conversational piece with the robot body, and they'll just move forward from there. Skynet will be shortly thereafter. You know,
mm.
I'm gonna just
Isn't
make
that
sure
cool, son?
mines know how to fight. So I'm gonna get one,
Yeah.
and
Listen, this
we'll
is
have adventures.
when that happens. When that happens, this is why I tell people if you're gonna invest in the stock market or do any type of investing whatsoever, invest in two things: water and technology. Because the second that Skynet goes live,
Mhm.
I'm staying with a bottle of water. Like, don't play with me. Don't play with me, bro. Don't play with me, bro. I will use this on me. I will stay locked and loaded. Yeah.
It's gonna be nuts, man. I've watched enough, post-apocalyptic, stories. I think I got some good ideas. Nobody
Right.
lives on rooftops. I don't understand that. I'll be on top of the rooftop in a minute. That and some caves. I gotta figure out how to live in some caves. But
That's it. I'm ex-military. I'm ex-military that chose to unwind and still try to live civilian life. So that means
nice,
I can do a five-star hotel, right?
nice,
But
right,
I can also sleep in a cave if the reason is good enough. I don't give
right,
a damn. I will
right.
sleep in that damn cave. You know
Correct,
what I mean?
correct. No cushion is needed, but it's welcome.
Yeah. There's a
Right,
roof over your head. That's really what you need.
right. Cool.
Period. So Robot had a question for you, I believe.
I'm ready.
Oh, me? Oh, I was just wondering, like, I was learning about Tuskegee Heirs, sorry, and I
Mhm.
was wondering how long you've had that going and like how'd that even start out to begin with.
Yeah, no, we had a conversation over we were doing me and Greg, my business partner. Me and Greg have been working together for over 20 years. I did a
You
children's
guys
book.
keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah,
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
did a children's book or two back in 2013, and another one shortly thereafter. So we were at a children's book signing here in Georgia at a local mall, and an older gentleman comes by the table. He's looking at all the stuff. I got my posters out. And he's like, "This is all nice and good, but do y'all have anything for aviation?" And I'm like, I was thinking, and I had my Young Heroes posters. Young Heroes is just me taking black and brown superheroes from
Hmm.
Marvel, DC, and stuff. And I was just making them young. So
Hmm.
Storm was like a little kid Storm, and
Awesome.
all that stuff. I just made them young. So I was like, well, I was thinking of adding the Tuskegee Airmen to my Young Heroes lineup of posters. And he lit up and he's like, yo, if you do that, man, that's amazing. And da, 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 da. And so after he finished talking and saying, okay, when you get that, let me know. My partner Greg was like, yo, we need to write that up. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Write what up? He's like, a story about some young Tuskegee Airmen. So we chopped it up from there. And I think this was going on like maybe Thanksgiving time. So we neglected our families for like 4 days straight, and just started chopping it up and just coming up with, okay, if we do a story about the young Tuskegee Airmen, How do we do it respectfully? We don't want to use real people's names and so forth because the real heirs are still alive and breathing. There's a lot of them. So we're like, okay, we can't make them blood relatives, and we can't call it Tuskegee Airmen next class. So we're like, okay, so what if we put it in the future from now? And then, the light bulb hit. I'm like, oh shit. If we're going in the future, I said that means their jets got to transform into giant robots. And Greg was like,
Mm.
all right, if we do that, we need martial arts. And I'm like, oh shit, that means they need weapons. And I'm like, and we're just bouncing off of each other. And normally we'll argue about the name of something for weeks. And we'll be like, that's stupid. That's a dumb name. And we were just talking. I was like, what about Tuskegee Heirs? And he was like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's go with that. No argument. It was done deal as soon as we said it. And from there, man, I just said, give me a week to actually do some designs. And I did my first design and I posted it on Facebook. And it was one of the pilots leaning on, like, he was standing on the shoulder of the giant robot and he was dressed like a futuristic Tuskegee Airman. But he's a kid. And you see the robot, you see the futuristic tie-in and so forth. And people was like, if this is what I think it is, shut up and take my money. That was 2015 when I did that,
Okay.
2015.
And
And
you,
Jay, you're supposed to mute your mic when you do that. You can't. I can't hear all the stuff you're doing in the background.
My bad. My bad. My
But
bad.
yeah,
I'm so
anyway,
sorry.
yeah, you chant down hardcore. I'm just like, oh, sounds good, I guess.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
I
now?
mean, the problem is, oh, I
Can you
can't
hear
hear
me?
Marcus. I can't hear Marcus. You muted the wrong
Okay.
person.
My bad, Marcus. I muted the wrong person, bro.
there you go. There you go. See, we're trying. We're trying to get this right, y'all. Anyway, yeah, we started
Hold
that.
on.
We got that kind of locked in the concept 2015. We did the Kickstarter 2016 from, I guess, January to February. And we raised over $10,000 initially in like the first 8 hours or something like that. And so,
Okay.
yeah, it went pretty crazy. By the end of that 30 days, though, we did somewhere close to 70,000 on Kickstarter, and just, it went crazy, went very viral. So we started creating a comic, got the comic created, going to shows, and just self-publishing ever since then. So it has been, if not 10 years, I think it's been 10 years, roughly 10
Yeah,
years.
sounds about
Yeah,
10 years.
about that. So it's been
Amazing.
it's been ongoing. The goal is, of course, still animation. Animation is
Not
ridiculously
always.
expensive.
Yeah, unless you can do it yourself and have the patience for it, like
Right,
animation is definitely something that takes some time to reach. I
right,
have so much respect for animators. Anytime I
right,
see an animator, I'm just like, I can draw, but I don't have the focus or the what's what I'm looking for, the discipline
right.
to to draw consistently and smoothly and put all that stuff together.
And because I keep telling people, you have to really love animation to do that as a job or a passion. You have to literally love it, because you're not going to be doing much else. You can try to treat it like a regular job, but for the people that are doing, top-notch animation, you're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. Japanese animation is still at the top because they have so many animators to throw
They have
at
a
these
yeah, they
things.
have a different set of problems those
Yeah,
than American does, but
right.
yeah.
And that's where it's like, they can complain, but it's a part of their culture now. Like, to be an animator
Mm.
or to be a manga artist is something you can go to school for early. Like, they respect it there because it makes careers and you can be famous. But they got a lot of people trying to do that same career. So we don't have that. That's why we
We
ship that
don't
shit
have
off.
that.
And we don't have the work ethic either. You know,
Well, I mean, the respect for the field isn't quite there either.
right. Japanese animators will sleep under their desk, and wake up and start working again. And I'm like, well, we cooked. We don't have that. I don't want to do that. So I'm like, listen, more power to them. I'm sorry they are being overworked, but that's they come up with some of the baddest animation in the world. like the whole
My man
world.
said, I don't want to do
Yeah, that's not
that.
for me. That's why I said I know how to animate. I will not. I'm not an animator though. I
I
don't
can
love
do
it like
some
that.
little things, but
Yeah, yeah.
after a moment, I'm just like, oh, I can't do that for another 8 months.
You,
Goodbye.
you, you talking about 500 drawings and you ain't done yet? If you draw the animation, that ain't it. That ain't it. You got to clean it up. You got to color it.
hmm
You got to. That's
hmm
Get
enough.
out
I'm
Ink
good.
it, all of that.
all
Like,
that cool,
Yeah, you
fancy
got to be
and
stuff.
best.
here's the thing about some of the mangas that I've seen. They got a manga series
Hmm.
called Ragnarok back in the day. They discontinued it.
Hmm.
Man, listen, this book was so dope. It would be kind of like it would be Japanese culture mixed with Norse god mythology,
Right.
right? And it wasn't revolved around Thor. It was
Hmm.
revolved around Balder,
Hmm.
right? And I'm like, this is kind of hard. Like there's a Japanese Asgard, and his sword is a different type of metal. It was all really really good stuff. They discontinued it after the 10th volume. Now,
Hmm.
mind you, this book had just dropped, and they had a new book every week for 10 weeks. So you're thinking we good.
Right.
This is magic, right? Womp womp womp, all gone. Mad as hell. And I'm sitting there like this is why America sucks sometimes. This is why America sucks. Like I want my shit. I can't get my shit. Really?
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it's probably continuing in Japan. They probably on
Right.
a whole different platform.
Right.
But no,
Right.
yeah, I want to cut me off at the knees and tell
Yeah.
me to run 100, then tell me to run 100 miles and be okay with it.
Right. The
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah.
the other part, the other component though that I respect about Japanese writers and comic artists is they don't do a cartoon unless the comic does well. Unless there's a fan base that perpetually keeps following and supporting and asking for it. But it's years. I'm talking about years of comics, and then they'll do a cartoon. What the reason I know this is now cemented is um, what is the name? So the name is stupid, but it was so I was reincarnated as a vending machine.
Oh yes, I remember that one.
See what I'm saying? That's how I know that that wasn't a mistake. They didn't just randomly come off the rail. Oh, we should make it. No, people loved the comic about that series and read it for years and was like, "Oh, this is dope. We should make a cartoon about this." And then they make the cartoon. But then here's the other part: is what America can't seem to do right to save their life. They stay faithful to the freaking comic. They don't change
Hmm.
anything about the story. They don't change nothing. It's almost like storyboards for
Doesn't
the
do it.
animation. Yeah. So they'll add some stank on it. You know what I'm saying? Jujutsu Kaisen. You can't put all that action into the comic page. That's impossible. But yeah, they'll hire some rock star animators and be like, all right, this page right here now is 5 minutes worth of fighting. But they're still faithful to what's happening in the comic. American studios get amongst themselves, and I guess they start pretending they're smart, man. You know what? I like it, but
They
let's
think
let's just
animation is for babies.
it's no
You
doubt
know how much or immature people, because then like a lot of I don't know, I guess adult cartoons. I'm not saying like adult or cartoons in America can't have nuance and be well
right,
thought out,
right,
but you can tell they are what they are when you look at them. You're just like, wow, why do they look like that?
right, right, right. So it's
Okay,
frustrating.
so
It's frustrating.
my next question to you. So me and you did free comic book day again. Big shout out to Tony K for Challenges Games for having all the creators that take the game seriously
Right.
at his shop. Tony has been one of the is no, not one of them. He is the godfather of comics in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, he been
So he been here for a minute.
been there for a minute. Yeah.
Um so my yesterday me and you were chopping it up and we were talking about the Sinners movie and a
Mhm.
book that you mentioned called the Bitter Root. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, man. So the what we let me give context. So what we was talking about was my frustration is people don't know that Ryan Coogler got the chance and the rights to do a movie adaptation of Bitterroot. Bitterroot is a hold on, I got one right here. Or did I take it with me? I must take it with me. Bitterroot is a comic by Sanford Green, David Walker, and Chuck. God, I think it's Chuck Thomas. Chuck, what's his last name? Chuck. Chuck. I'm just gonna call him Chuck right now. I can't think of his last name. But three brothers, they did a fantastic job on the book, man. It's a kind of like Castlevania, family oriented
Mm.
monster hunter, but it's black. It's set in 1930,
Okay.
Okay.
1930s, right? And this family of monster hunters have been doing this for generations, but this is what the book is kind of, it's centered around the 1930s. This group of black monster hunters, they got cool gadgets, sci-fi guns, and I think magic too, but I can't remember. Um, the monsters are disguised as racist white people. You know, vampires, monsters, you name it, all this stuff. So
Mm.
that's the premise, right? Ryan Coogler got the right to do this. It was publicly posted. It's on the internet. You can Google it right now if you didn't know this.
Mm.
And this is 2019. The article I pulled up, they said, "Hey, Ryan Coogler's going to make this adaptation about Bitterroot." This is in the article. It's not hearsay, y'all. So 4 years go by because he's in an interview saying, "I had this idea for 4 years." He ain't saying nothing about Bitterroot. We have Sinners. Sinners is taking place in 1920, 1924. And it's a bunch of black people fighting some white racist vampires.
Hmm.
And my only issue is people don't know Sanford Green, David Walker, or they haven't read Bitterroot, and they don't know that he got the rights to make Bitterroot, which is very similar to what he's creating with Sinners.
Hmm.
And the only thing I don't know, I haven't talked to these brothers in a minute, but I got to talk to them. I don't know if they had a meeting. I don't know if Ryan sat them down and was like, "Look, y'all, I really want to make this, but I got to test the market first." Maybe that should happen. I don't know. I don't know if I can cuss on cat. But anyway,
You
uh,
can't go ahead. It's
because I
fine.
don't know, it's kind of, I've watched numerous interviews with Ryan and Michael B. Jordan. No mention of Bitterroot. No mention of David Walker, Sanford Green, and Chuck. And I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? And the rest of the world is like, "Oh, I love this. The support." And I'm an indie creator. I'm an indie comic
Hmm.
creator. I know the business. If you give the rights to a movie, if you option the rights to your movie, they give you a check and you get to shut the hell up. It doesn't matter how the movie comes out. They could say it's Bitterroot and it could have been nothing like the comic, and you got to just deal with it because you sold the rights to the movie. You don't get to direct it. You don't get to come right on it. They get to control that movie adaptation. That's why it's called an adaptation. But in this case, bruh, like, it's called Sinners. So I'm like, could it have been Bitterroot? Sinners, Bitterroot, chapter one. I don't know. Shit. All I'm hoping is it's not as grimy as it looks. Cause I like
Mm.
Ryan. If Ryan comes across me saying this, I said it in my live the other night. I'm like, I don't know. But it looks grimy. It looks like some, without him saying a word about Bitterroot, it doesn't come off cool, man. But I like the dude. I like Michael B. I want Sinners to be successful, but I also know the news. I know what happened because I celebrated and
Mm.
gave him dap. I'm like, good job, y'all, on getting the movie
Hmm.
adaptation rights sold. And
Hmm.
I can't wait to see what happens. Ryan Coogler, oh, this shit gonna be dope. I talked to them face to face and said this. And now we're here. It's 4 years later, and it's not called Bitterroot. It's called Sinners, and he ain't saying nothing about it. So that's all I'm saying. This is not hearsay for anyone that's saying,
No,
"Oh,
no, I got you.
Google Ryan Coogler Bitterroot." That's all you got to put in, and the
I
articles
got
will
you.
come up. But that's where people don't know. And I said it at the desk yesterday. Kimiko and one of the customers were talking, and he didn't know. Kimiko didn't know. I'm like, yeah,
Right,
that's the problem. I know.
right.
And I know the brothers, and they ain't said nothing to me. They ain't said nothing online. Maybe they got a gag order. I don't know what's happening. So, but that's my thing. So if y'all didn't know, now you know. You know.
No, no. Shout out to Kimiko. She's the connection to everybody that does independent comics in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's what's up.
Um, like, bro, that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
Like, I haven't seen Sinners yet. I plan on it this week before I have to take my trip out of town.
right.
But bro, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
That whole story was nuts. Like, yeah,
it's that at the end of GI Joe. The more you know, the more you know. It helps you. If you ignorance is bliss, because you can just enjoy Sinners and be like, oh, I like that movie, and be like, good job.
mm,
But knowledge is a burden because I can't turn
right,
off the fact that I know that he had the rights to make Bitterroot, but didn't make it. He
right,
made Sinners, but it's kind of like Bitterroot, and he ain't saying nothing
right.
about that. So it's rubbing me the wrong way. I haven't talked
Mm.
to the brothers. I'm gonna talk to them. Hopefully, they can educate me. Like, calm down, Marcus. This is what happened. I would love because yeah, like I was telling you, what I would love is if Ryan did sit them down. Was like, listen, we're gonna test the market. If they love it, we're gonna say it's a prequel to
Right,
Bitterroot, and
right, right, right.
the next movie is gonna be called Bitterroot Sinners number 2 or some shit. I don't know. Whatever.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Quick question. Do you think that Sinners is affecting the Thunderbolt sales?
I don't. They're two different genres. And that's one of those things. We number one, you got to understand, man. Based on what Keenan Peele was Mr. Peele,
Yeah. Jordan
Black
Peele.
Jordan Peele. Thank you. Black horror directed movies is still new. This is still new content, so I can't be at all mad that it's doing well. It's still a brand new option for a black community. A
Right.
black led movie, horror,
Hmm.
thriller, whatever, and directed by black director. You know what I'm saying? Written by, I
Yeah.
guess. So I can't say it's a bad thing. I'm happy they winning, but no, I don't think so. Thunderbolts is still doing well. I went to see it was packed. I went to a
I-
matinee and it was packed. Thunderbolts was
oh.
packed.
Uh,
The matinee was.
okay.
All I got was 4
I'm about
corner
to say.
seats. I was all the way in the corner. Couldn't even
Oh
get me a
Lord.
seat. Yeah, but that was at 12:30 on a Sunday. So
All
Thunderbolts
right.
still
Fair
doing
enough.
pretty well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
Mhm,
enough. Fair
mhm.
enough. I enjoyed it. It was good to see some people again.
Yeah.
Had one thing that happened there that I wasn't that I really couldn't co-sign
Mm,
because I'm a fan of that character. But at the beginning of the movie,
yeah. Well,
the
don't
one
worry about
character.
spoilers. We got to listen. Spoilers. Spoiler alert.
No. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll
I'm
stop. I'll
just
stop. I'll
saying, bro.
stop. I'll stop.
We can talk about it. You got to give people warning. I was saying
No. Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't want you to drain anybody listening to this before. Let them get through half the show.
Okay. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
but spoiler warning.
Okay. I mean, because we're spoiler alert. Because we're about to wrap it up. I'm not trying to
Okay.
ruin it. So spoiler alert. Taskmaster
Yeah.
dies,
Yeah.
and we were like, "What the
Bruh.
fuck? Then why did you go through all this promotion and it was just like a ridiculous situation."
I want to say
And
2 lines. 2 lines. I think maybe one. One
two,
line, one sentence was all
yeah,
Taskmaster.
one, yeah,
But
and
listen, I, like that's weird.
it was weird. That's all I'm saying. It was weird, but it was still the movie overall was still dope. It's just in my mind, I'm like, you did all of this in the
Yeah.
promotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm talking, we're talking like several different posters
Right. Right.
for one shot.
And it was
Like
getting
help me
down
on that.
too. It was getting down. I like the way Taskmaster bounced that shield when she's blocking his shots from Ghost. She bounced the shield off the ground and then grabbed it. She didn't have to do that. That was dope. I said she could
Yeah.
have just blocked. She threw the shield down, blocked the thing, caught it, and kept going, and then straight up died. I was like, oh, she all right? No,
No.
she ain't all right. She bleeding.
She all right.
Yeah,
She good. She all right. Anyway, let's move it forward. Is there any projects that you're gonna be doing that we can be looking forward to, bro?
yeah. So I just finished Popeye. I like Popeye issue 5. That was a
Can you
5
can
headline.
you can you show one of the covers that you got? Hey,
Yeah,
is it in arm's reach?
yes. This is
So robot. So the people that own Popeye hit him up to redo the comic.
Oh, neat.
okay.
I'm about to say old school Popeye. They hit him. I was sitting there like, bro, that's huge. Like that's a part of the world. Over to the side. There you go.
Yeah,
Pluto, olive oil, Popeye.
yeah.
Hey,
That's issue
all
2.
be
This is
all
issue
because he did like a series of amalgamations. He did Popeye and Goku, and then they hit him up after that.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, all right.
And it's an action comic. It's I don't know if anyone's ever done an action comic. It's very you see the speed lines happening.
Mhm.
So
All right.
I'm doing it in reference. It's very manga influenced, action oriented, but
Uh-huh.
it's a fight comic. As you can see
All
the
right.
power ups. You see the power ups. You see
Hell
that.
yeah, you can see the
You know what I'm
power
saying?
ups.
He got abs now.
Hey.
Um, right. So stuff like that
Right.
is going down, and then he's breaking ground and hitting stuff. You see that? You see that uppercut?
Mhm.
That's dope. That's dope as hell.
Yeah, splitting the clouds in the background. That's Popeye. But yeah,
Uh,
he's doing amazing stuff. So it's just I've modernized the world building. It is a retelling, kind of a reboot, but it's still Popeye. Like I'm a huge fan of Popeye. I hate when writers or directors get a hold of something that's really near and dear to millions of fans, and like what happened with X-Men #1. Brian
mm.
Singer sucks. If I ever see him, it's gonna be a misunderstanding. Um, you know what I'm
Don't let
saying?
me be
Like,
there.
you
Don't let
know,
me be there. Cause I'll be
it's
right there.
like
Like I'll back you up. Like yo,
right. Your
so
your
Mr.
job as
Understand.
a director and a script writer is to tell the X-Men story to the fans that are gonna watch this movie. If I was on set and he's so what we're gonna do is I don't want any of the actors to read the comic. Hey, that's a dumb idea. Everybody that doesn't know the X Men should read the comic. He made Rogue one of the strongest X Men. A fucking sorry, passion. Made her a dumbass kid, teenager. Nobody want to see that. Wolverine didn't know who Sabretooth was. Storm wasn't African. Her accent,
Right,
vibrating was
right.
terrible. In that accent, it was terrible. Only people that was actually on point was Professor X, and I was okay with Wolverine, but not the
Mm-hmm,
Wolverine character. Like he was. I wanted to see the task force that X-Men was. You could have
mm-hmm.
started the movie off with them taking down a Sentinel and said 9 months earlier, and just started from there.
Right,
But I wanted to
right,
see
right, right, right.
Rogue busting somebody's head off and throwing a Sentinel's head into a building, and the X-Men. But what we got was some reboot crap. So, but that was the director, Brian Singer, and so unfortunately they was like, okay, we want you to come back and we made some money with that, Brian. Let's do it again. And fans were just left to be like, what the hell is this? Why? This is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate directors and writers that
Garbage.
get a hold of it. So I love Popeye. I'm a fan of Popeye. So this reboot was my chance to say, well, what if Popeye, Olive, Bluto, Wimpy, Sea Hag all had the opportunity to grow as characters?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What if spinach didn't work anymore for Popeye? What if that wasn't enough? What if he
What?
dealt with insecurity from that? What if Olive gets hurt? And Popeye now feels like, what if I can't protect Olive no more? These are the things character wise. I'm like, I don't want to change Popeye for who he is, but I want to give him an opportunity, put some new, barriers in his path as a character. So his story and character arc can actually grow. And, I read and watch too much Japanese stuff. So it wasn't hard. I'm just like, I love Dragon Ball Z. I love, all of these great stories. So by all definition,
That's awesome.
Popeye was our first, fight cartoon. That was our Dragon Ball Z before we
Right.
understood what the hell Dragon All was.
Right,
So
right, right.
that's all I did.
That's that is dope.
It's been
That
fun.
is dope.
It's been fun.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Marcus Williams, I very much appreciate you coming through. Me and Robot definitely appreciate it. We are. I told you, you're the sensei, bro. I came in this game under your wing, and
You
I've
just asked the right
been
questions.
doing
You
my
asked the right
best.
questions. I gave you some
Yeah.
answers.
You are awesome. You're an awesome mentor. You're an awesome leader. And Robot, you got anything you want to say?
No, I think you imparted some good wisdom on us today.
Cool, cool. Go read up.
Yes.
Go read up on all them things. Go watch the movies. Swan Song is
Yes.
dope. You know what I'm saying? Go watch her for them people that are scared of AI. We almost there. But yeah, no, I thank y'all for having me on, man. It's been we got to come back. We got some more stuff to talk about. You know,
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Our Side of the Table, a product of Covey Entertainment Universe. We love y'all to death. Thank you very much. And we will see you on the next podcast. All right.